Welcome to another episode of The Great Escape. I'm Diana Benson with eXp Realty, and today I wanted to give you some insight on what inflation means to your property value. Or perhaps you're thinking about buying. People ask, is inflation going to affect my property value? Well, as prices of everyday items go up, so does the value of your home, sometimes at the rate of inflation, but it depends on demand. And right now, demand is high. The current rate of inflation is over 8%. The price of homes have gone up 28% in the last year because of this high demand. Now, I think some specific examples can best illustrate this. I picked some houses around my house just to show you what has happened in the last couple of years. There's one over on Pebble Creek. It sold in October 2019 for $310,000. It sold again in November 2021, just 13 months later for $509,000. And before you ask, no, it hadn't been remodeled in between. Now there's one over on Heather Avenue, a 2382 square foot house that sold for $410,000 in June of 2021. Then 7 months later, it sold for $525,000. And the last example is over on Vaughn. It sold in November 2019 for $340,000. 2 years later, in November 21, it sold for $530,000. Real estate is the #1 way that people develop wealth. Is right now a really good time to buy a house? Is it safe investment against inflation? Well, right now, inflation is at the highest it's been since 1981 when it was 11%. The appreciation rate of houses over the last year is the highest it's ever been. The demand for home is still high. Interest rates are still reasonable at around 5%, though just 2 months earlier they were only at 3%. The Fed has announced that they may have up to 11 interest rate increases over the next 2 years. So, while rates are still reasonable, it would really make good sense to purchase a home now. Some people ask, should I hold on to cash or cash out of my house now? Right now, you lose 8% per year holding cash. Right now, you gain 28% per year purchasing a home. Therefore, it does make good sense for you to use your cash to purchase an appreciating asset, especially one where you can deduct the interest that you pay on that asset. You don't want to be like so many people that I talked to last year that just wanted to wait until prices came down. Now they have to pay 30% more for that same exact house. Now, does that mean a crash is coming? Well, nobody has a crystal ball. But we can make some educated guesses based on the data. So let's look at the data. Right now, the average days on market for a home to sell is 28 days. Homes are selling for approximately 1.88% over the listing price. There are only 20 days supply of active listings. A balanced market is 6 months. So we need to build 200,000 living units just to meet the current demand in the valley. Now, people are concerned about affordability with the increase in prices and interest rates. But what they forgot to include in that equation is that salaries have also increased at about 12% over the last year. So let's look at the average house payment with a $388,000 loan. With the recent prices and interest rate increases, that payment has increased about $400 a month or $4,800 a year. But people are making about $8,400 more a year. So that keeps affordability in check. So now, typically the economy goes through cycles. That means that we'll probably have a recession in about 1 to 2 years. Typically, a recession means lower interest rates, which means that you can refinance and bring that payment back down. So you can think of that higher payment over the next couple of years of $4,800 a year as part of your acquisition cost. In the meantime, your house will be appreciating and you'll be able to deduct the interest. Yes, I know what you're thinking. A recession, that means that prices will decline. But did you know that prices have only declined 2 times during a recession? And after both of those times, prices have recovered and even gone beyond the prior highest prices. So it still makes good sense to purchase a home right now. And as I mentioned earlier, you don't want to be like some of those people last year that wanted to wait until prices come down and now have to pay 30% more. I know people have many questions, and if you have questions on the real estate market or about buying or selling a home, please feel free to reach out to me. All my contact information is listed below. Thanks for tuning in to another episode of The Great Escape. Until next time.